I have no idea what's going to be on the other side, but generally speaking, if the mine was uphill and the dump pile's downhill, they chuck the rocks down. So we're going to come up and around here and see if we're going to find something. Let's go see what it is. We're going to hang around here for a few minutes. Hey guys, Dave here, and we're in the hills of Cheshire County, New Hampshire. We're off to look for a couple mines that I think exist out here. However, I'm not sure because I haven't found them on any database or map through my research. So this is just me looking at telltale signs of the road, of old, maybe old mining roads, what I think are old mining roads, and hopefully what I think are a couple dump piles. That's what I have to go on. This is, you know, I go out on a lot of these that are hit or miss, often miss, but every time I'm hopeful, and then sometimes it pays off. I find something that maybe not many people knew was out there. So that's where we're headed. No idea if we're going to go underground, if we're going to need the flashlights, or if we're even going to find anything. But I'll tell you what, today is a beautiful Friday, and when I say beautiful, I don't mean that. Because it's dreary. I got everything wrapped up in Ziploc bags in case it starts pouring again, but it's a Friday and I'm not at work, so that makes it a beautiful Friday. Let's go have some fun, and hopefully we have some luck today. That is a complete drop, nearly straight down, probably like 75 degree, 80 degree down. 100 feet, 150 feet. This is a herd path that I'm on. That's what it feels like. But, and then over here, just all woods and hillside. But you can imagine this was a very different property at some point in the past. Maybe a couple hundred years ago. That's quite a wall. That's a 3-4 foot wall. Very well intact. Jeez, it's almost like somebody's cleaned it up here and there. Going right up to the top. I'm not going up that mountain. I'm just kind of skirting around it. I don't think there's anything to see up there. But then again, you see a big wall like that, and kind of makes you want to chase up and see if there's anything else. We'll see. Maybe on the way back. We're on an old road. Hopefully it comes out on camera, but what you see is where it's level right here, and then it's winding up and over to the left, and it's, you know, it's not being used, obviously. So it's an old road. Now the question is this an old mining road, an old logging road, just an old road? Not sure, but we're going to follow it and see where it leads. Alright guys, you see what we're looking at here? That's what I spotted. That's one of the things I spotted. And like I say, it looked like an old dump pile, or a dump pile. And now as I'm here and actually seeing it, yeah, I'm pretty convinced it is. So I'm coming up from underneath it. I have no idea what's going to be on the other side, but generally speaking, if the mine was uphill and the dump pile is downhill, they chuck the rocks down. So we're going to come up and around here and see if we're going to find something. Let's go see what it is. Alright, coming up to the top of the pile. I'm standing right there, right over that drop is where I was just standing a minute ago, and we're on top of the pile, and I'm just seeing now, look at this. This is a very distinct cut. Goes straight in about 30-40 feet. We're not going to be underground, but it's still very cool. This back wall is 30 feet tall. I'm going to guesstimate. I didn't bring my measuring device with the rain, but I see enough. I'm going to call that 30 feet high. Straight down. We got some snow in here, so it's warm, but it's not summer warm. And there's nothing hidden. So this is what we have. Big old cut. Big old dump pile. Don't know what it is. really not even sure what they were mining for, because what I'm seeing out here is, you know, some dump piles you just want to sit there and pick through, but not this. This looks like what I'd find in my backyard, just regular old granite. Whoops, hooked on a tree there. Just regular old granite rocks. So it's a spot. We're gonna pin it. Somebody worked this, and I'm not sure what they were looking for, but I'm gonna speculate they really didn't find it. Coming up to some more stuff, guys. There's a barrel down here. Then right here, dump piles. Definite dump piles. This is kind of cool because this is ledge and it's really smooth. It's almost like those, there's a pocket up there. Almost looks like one of those glacial potholes, but not quite, but very smooth. So where I'm going to go is right through here where it dips down. And if this big pile is any indication, there should be some mining activity right up there. Well, no real luck. We did find where they mined kind of a smaller version of what we were just looking at, where it goes in and it cuts in a steep cliff. They dug through the rock, hoping to find something good, and I don't think they found it. A lot of dump piles though. And where we just were, that was about 300 feet to my right. So 300 feet south. I'm going to keep looking. We got two spots. Boy, was that all there is up here? I don't know. We're going to keep looking. Nothing else underground, but as I was, you know, searching around, I came down to get a closer look at this barrel, and unlike most of the time you find a barrel that's just out here as a barrel, this was a, what do you think, heating or cooling barrel? I don't know. I don't know enough about this stuff. I have a few friends that do though, and I'm going to get their opinion on it. But you see this pipe, it comes across and is attached and coils all the way through the barrel. Then did it exit out down there? I think it did. I think it's come unattached, but there's a some sort of a coupling and a hole that maybe the piping went back out. So cool find, no? I mean, the whole area is, even though we didn't bust out the flashlights yet. These are always fun. They're always, you know, great historical spots. Okay, I think we're going to get crazy. I got another spot that I want to check out that's about 1.25 miles from here. Straight woods, no paths that I know of. So we're going to, well, here we go. Hey, you know, I'm thinking about that barrel that we found. And it must have been for heating. That must have, I mean, what are you going to put in a barrel for equipment? But inside the barrel, you're going to have a big old fire, and you're going to run the water through it, heat up the water, and it comes out the other end, and now you got hot water that, well, for whatever you're doing out here. Yeah, so I don't know why that stumped me at first, but I'm pretty certain that that was for heating up the water, or heating up the water and then having it pipe back out. Check this out. Not the wall, we see those everywhere in the woods of New Hampshire. But we don't see nice big chunks of quartz like that built into them. Yeah, from a distance that looked like a clump of snow. That is really nice. I wouldn't mind that in my yard. But it's part of this wall, and certainly even if I could carry it, I'm not going to touch it. Back on some sort of an old road, and just a very old makeshift, not so much a bridge, but just the logs laid across all the way back and forth to, you can see where the stream kind of comes through here, and just to get over the muddy part. I'd love to know how old this is, but it's actually not even heading in the way we want to go. I'm just hitting it, what the heck is it, perpendicular, I guess. So I'm just hitting it perpendicular. The road is going this way. We're bushwhacking up, and we're going to continue straight line. Well, we're not going to make it underground, but we found a pretty cool spot. This is an old quarry, and it's about 100 feet in length, maybe 30-40 feet across. It's still frozen, so, and boy, it's almost, I mean, I'd be tempted to walk across it because I'm looking here and it's like 6 inches, but I know what happens. You get a few feet out and then suddenly you're going for a swim. It's nowhere near as thick there. So we're just going to enjoy it from the side, but this is a pretty big operation. There's some big dump piles all the way around. I'd love to know how deep it is. I can see a tree that went in here and it's frozen in place. It's, you know, it's not a huge tree, but could it go down 20 feet? Yeah, I think very possibly. So let me just give you a look around. It's, you know, they went into the sides a little bit. They angled in. That's, you know, when I think I'd love to see this drained, it's, you know, for the possibility, did anything go down and then add it in? So who knows? But we found this spot. It's a really nice area. I'm going to hang out here for a bit, and then I'm going to poke around. I found a few things, some scrap, some metal barrels, just empty barrels, nothing unusual. But I'm going to scour the area good, make sure there's no other diggings and that this was the only spot, and then we'll start working on our way back. Alright, so here's a pretty good view from the southern end of this quarry, and a couple other things that I'll show you. So a couple rock hounders do come out here. I'm seeing not tons, but I didn't stack these rocks here, and you know, a couple big chunks of quartz that somebody I think was banging apart, and I found a few other scraps. And then, so check this out. I found this piece of quartz that I got to clean it up a little bit, but it's not perfectly round, but it's perfectly smooth. And I mean, like this came out of a tumbler. I don't know what that means. Hey guys, I got a rabbit. I'm trying. I wish I knew how to zoom this thing. Let me see if I can get closer. Probably gonna scare him off, but see if I can give you guys a better look. Alright, I'm coming up alongside him. He thinks he's hiding from me and he's not moving. So if I can get up past this stuff here, I might have a good angle to see him. Hi guys, we got another quarry. I was on my way back and started coming across all these, like you see here, just piled up rocks, and not so much scattered but piled. And of course you got to check every one of those spots out, and we got a nice wall that was quarried against, and that's probably 25 feet tall. It looks like it might have been flooded, but when you get up there it's not. So this is all just a surface excavation, but a good size one. So maybe there's still a few more treasures out here to be found. So this is pretty cool. I think I found part of an old car. So it's actually, if it is, then a couple cool things. One, it's always fun when you find one of these, but two, so when you go back far enough, you see where they had wood as part of the frame. So what looks like maybe a couple sticks that are just leaning up against it. You see it's got the bolt in there, and this piece is bolted to it. And I've seen that a few times. Yeah, they had wood as part of holding that car together. Not 100% that that's what this is, but only because I see what looks like fenders and frame. But would the door be over here? So I don't know, but I got something. Oh, did someone say they were looking for a door? Yeah, we're piecing this thing together. So this is interesting. There's this, from a distance, at what looked like a foundation, and I come up to it, but it's way too thick for as far as any foundation I've seen. Number one, that's got to be 3 feet across, but then also look how narrow it is. I mean, that's just enough to store stuff in. I wonder, and you see, so I wonder, now you get it 3-foot walls, big enough to be like a walk-in closet, no more. And this wall did come out here. It's all, this side's collapsed, that side's intact, the back's intact. The front would have, I guess, been the doorway. I really wonder if this was a dynamite shed. We've seen a few of them, and I've not seen one this big, but I don't know that I really know what a typical size would be. I think I can count 2 that I've seen. One that was built with cement and rocks, one that was a metal, like a order to go type thing, and they just come and drop the whole thing there and then ground it with a wire. This is a new one. This is another head scratcher that I gotta go to my smarter friends and see what they think. Having a nice walk here along the brook. And here's something I've seen before. Always gives me a kick when I do. So, almost looks like these things have arms, but what it is barbed wire. Very old wire. And a tree grew to where it basically grew with the wire right inside of it, and it formed these bumps. And the wire comes out of this tree into this one, comes out over here, and this one looks like it just pins down to the ground. That's where the fence apparently ended, maybe keep the animals away from the water. But you see, like straight through the middle. So I gotta think that tree wasn't even a tree, the wire was there, and then it came up right next to it and then became part of it. Hey guys, on my way home, and look at that, sun ended up coming out in the end. So I never did get rained on. Got wet, but that was just a lot of sweat. Total for the day was 6.5 miles, and probably 90% of that was bushwhacking and a lot of ups and downs. So it was one of the more brutal ones. And I used to run, and I'd get, you know, after a hard run, you'd get where your body aches. It's almost like, you know, that aching when you get the flu. I got a little bit of that now, so I got to get a few more Gatorades into me. But it was a great day out there. You know, we didn't get underground, but we found 3 different mines. We found all sorts of cool stuff out in the woods, and we get to spend a day out in the woods rather than at work. So yeah, turned out to be a wonderful Friday. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and we'll see you on the next adventure.